Hi, I'm Exis, and this is Terra Invicta, where we are playing as the Resistance. And we're gonna keep going where we were before. We've got some ships out here in Mars orbit. We're waiting for a little bit of reinforcements to the Marine group here. And then we're hopefully going to be able to launch our first assault at one of the alien bases. But we've still got some work to do here down on Earth. We are currently consolidating Europe. We have consolidated Sweden here, so Sweden is going to be integrated. Are they ready though? Oh yeah, we can't do anything about them developing Sweden's military. We're pumping funding there. Gotten quite a lot in. We're probably just as well to merge it in at this point. We could probably start to try to take these as well. Our armies have arrived down here in Australia. We are currently battling it out against the Australian 2nd Division, which is an atomic era 3.9 level army versus our 6.3 invasion age armies. This is probably going to go really quick. And guerrilla warfare is done. This one is nice because it leads on to resistance rangers. And I'm thinking it might be time to pick up the automated fission outpost kit. This means we could build a small a small ship that can just go out and put mines on asteroids and things. Yes, we have some extra income. I could go for some volatiles, and we're actually negative in waters at the moment. We are upgrading quite a few mines, and we got the surplus, so that's nothing I'm worried about though. But once we start moving our fleets around, this water can be burned through quite fast. And we're getting even more environmental degradation here. That's the effect of global warming. We will pay some extra cash there and it'll mitigate it a little bit at least. We probably should be switching at least some into environment. Welfare, we want to get it down under 2. Let's just put some in there. At least we have a little bit on it ticking up. Okay, so now what I've done is to put environment to 10% in all of our nations. The European Union is already doing quite well here, but it can always get better, so we might as well have it on 10%. And India, the Southeast Asian Alliance, and China has a little bit of catch-up to do. And we've destroyed the Australian 2nd Division here. That means we can start our occupation down there now. Which should also be a fairly quick affair. Okay, so I was looking at, and I can't integrate Sweden just yet, because they still have a cooldown on normalized relations with both Finland and the European Union. Finland also needs to wait for a little bit for the same reasons, and Norway also needs to wait for this with Finland before it can even join the EU. But yeah, so what we're doing now is we're trying to build up the public opinion here to take these 2 slots. We've got very much CP cap there that we'd like to get to use again. Okay, and we finished the occupation of Canberra here. And that means we take control of, retake control of all of Australia. So Australia has now been integrated into its proper Southeast Asian Alliance, of course. And this also means that the Southeast Asian Alliance here is now as big as it can get. We've got all the regions that we want to have in it here. And these are all going to be handed over to China soon enough. I do actually have one region here that we could pick off India. It would be an easy way to just cede it over. That's 60 million people that could be integrated into China instead. Which we are working very hard to get into a proper country. These are going to be nice. Okay, so our ships have been launched here in Mars orbit. We'll just join up with the Marines, and let's have a look at what targets we could do. And we've got, I don't think they've got anything closer in. I guess we could go and harass. Oh, here we go. Estonia and Hertha. Out to Hertha here is just under 9 weeks. And let's check what the aliens actually have going on at this rock as well, before we decide that's where we're going. we want to check here in the inner, I think it was, 135 Hertha. I think this might definitely be our target. So they've got 2 ships out here. And then I think they've got another fleet here up here as another cruiser. And they do have a station up here. And this one has 6 battle stations. It's going to be a little bit of a tough one to take out. But I think our fleet is capable of it now. And they've also got a base down here. And if we check this one out. And they have loads of battle stations here too, so we probably don't want to bombard it. But they're making quite a lot of both metals and nobles from this side. I think taking this one from them would be really good. Now they're making this much because the alien mine is a 4 times mine. Ours are 1, 2 and 3 depending on their tier. So their biggest one is a 4 times. So knocking this one out will put a small dent, or quite a hefty dent, into their metals income. We of course don't have a clue what they're making in total. They've got so many bases, but knocking this one out would be good. This one has a marine strength now of about 300. And we're coming in with about 500, so we should be able to take this one on. And we'll combine our fleets before going out here, of course. Okay, so we got Task Force Inner Systems here. We are transferring out down to Hertha. 125 Delta V will arrive there in 9 weeks. It was 8 weeks with just the faster ships. We of course are bringing everything, so we need to wait for them. Maybe we can save quite a lot of Delta V by getting there. Yeah, we get there 1 week later, we'll save about 50 Delta V, or 40 Delta V at least. I think that's a good enough compromise. We do want to get out here as fast as possible, of course. So let's lock that in. Something else I did want to do is split off a few fleets of Task Force Mercury and the Earth Intercept fleet. And what I want to split off is all these small ones. Got a bunch of escorts down here and destroyers, because I think we do probably need to have some kind of defense fleet for Mars as well. And let's split these off. And we'll send them off to Mars, and they can burn everything in getting there. Exodus transfers something over to Mars, I think that's fine. And we finished the automated fission outpost kits. We'll set up a small ship to build one of these as well, or maybe build 2 or 3 of them. I think we're going to pick this one up here. It gives us the chance to get more officers on our ships. And something else we want to do, of course, is to send the Indian armies back home, because they cost quite a lot of maintenance down here. We'll part all the armies right back home, and they will arrive at their destinations back home in India again. Destroying that army saved us from disbanding it as well. Now we've got 2 armies here we probably want to disband. And we need to figure out how we're going to do all of this. We need to get that research done. I think we're already doing it, right? Yeah, it's soon done as well. That's nice. Okay, so we've got some sanctions against Japan. And it's the academy that's in control over here. We'll do nothing. We'll let them gain a little bit of GDP. Now, crackdown chances here in Europe are still very bad. We're going to keep building some public opinion here, so we're above 50% at least, before we take the remaining points there. And we completed the Styx-shaped nuclear torpedoes. Now, these also cost exotics. Not very much though, but that is something to keep in mind. We'll grab loyalty training here. It's a fairly cheap one. +2 to inspire and 10 more management cap there. Gonna be just fine. Yes, we have some armed hunters hunting alien life forms in Addis Ababa. Well, we'll give them some weapons, why not? Oh, and here we go. The Pan-Asian Combine has been researched. This gives China loads of claims down here. Yeah, here we go. So we got plenty of places here that we can start to pick up. And we are putting a bit into environment here, so let's pick this one up. It's another very cheap project. And we finished loyalty training here as well. I could actually put some of these broadcast outlets up in low Earth orbit just for the public campaign missions. That's also super quick when it's even 500. I'm also starting to prepare for the invasion here of the Southeast Asian Alliance, when I finish the Space Navy Academies. So we're picking up the Resource Market Administration here. We gain twice the amount we're selling space resources. We have been selling quite a few of them, so probably should have picked that one up earlier, and the cash flow hasn't really turned around just yet. And broadcast outlets are complete, and we are able to undertake the resistance rangers. We're gonna see if we can find them here. There they are. And this is a new module for our ships with 10 combat strength. The current one we have, the elite ones, are 8. So we're gonna refit all of our ships into this module. And we'll wait out until after this combat, of course. Oh yeah, we were gonna design a new ship there as well. So we have a long-range colony ship. And we know what drive we want already. We want the Deuterian Reflex. And the best one there. I think we can probably go with the tin droplets here. Here we go, the automated fission outpost kit. It doesn't really need anything more than this. This one, we can actually name it into an outer one. And this one's gonna have a decent amount of range. We put 20 propellant tanks on it, it'll get 500 Delta V. What does it get with 10? Maybe we do want to have a little bit faster acceleration though. That's only 200 per. 15 maybe. Brings us just to above 300 there. 14. And we do need to select armor on it, but we're not going to actually armor it. We don't need to put anything on this nose slot. And what better name for this than to be the Stork or Saras. I think we will go with that. And let's save this design. Ship construction. Let's go to Earth. These are our fastest ones. Should be... There we go. 22 days. These are super quick to build. Let's build 3 of them and we'll send them off to 3 different rocks somewhere out there. And just build some automated mines. Okay, so we've managed to arrest the rebel here, Laeta Berlin, for the initiative. That was, yeah, okay, so Emmet needs to go underground. Yeah, we're getting our mines back online now, and we hit 50% here. We'll have a check what success rates we have. Resource market admin is done, so if we were to sell anything here, we'll gain a lot more money for it. Which could be useful, seeing as we don't seem to be getting into the positive there. And let's run this one as well. Public campaigns have a 15% greater impact. Yeah, okay, so as long as we spend some influence, we're up to 77% chance at cracking down here. I think that's a good enough roll. Hopefully we'll gain another control point here in the European Union. Now we finished advanced climate modeling. That'll give our... we've got level 11% in all of our countries. And grab this one as well. That's also with the extra cash from selling. Okay, so our gunships are ready, and let's just, I'm gonna name them up here, I think. And we just need to find places that we can fly these out to. Yes, I did find this little rock out here. A little bit of water, a little bit of volatiles. We can be there in 12 weeks if we burn everything we have. They won't be able to make it back home if we do that though. And well, we do kind of want to be able to make it back home. Slow boating back home is 88 weeks. Using just 30 Delta V. So if we spend about 150 here, we should be able to get back home to one of our stations at least fairly quickly. No, actually we probably need to look for nobles as well. We'll send one of these after a noble one at least. And this little rock here seems to be the best one for nobles that we can find. 132 Aethra. And let's send number 2 out here. I think we should be able to do this one fairly quickly. We'll do the same thing, we'll spend half of our Delta V, it'll bring us out there in 16 weeks, arriving in April. That'll be just as good. And I found this little rock out here, it produces a little bit of everything, so let's send this one out here to this Ocrio. And it's in a fairly good launch window as well, as the other 2 were. This one is way further out though. That means it's a lot harder for the aliens to get here too. We're gonna need at least 50 to get back home. November 44. Or June. We can't do June. Earliest we can get there is July. And then we're going to have to spend 2 years getting back home again. So I think we'll do the same thing here. We'll spend about half of our Delta V to be a late arrival, but that's fine. Unless it gets intercepted on its way there, of course we can. Nothing can ensure that these will actually arrive at their destinations. And we managed to crack down the European Union. Okay, this is one of the ships here arriving at the L1 Halo orbit. And they've got an extra little fleet there. And what does it cost to transfer? We'll be arriving there. They weren't arriving before the 18th, weren't they? 18th of February, yeah. So if we arrive at the 10th, that's going to be just fine. And they're not going to be wanting to do anything with our fleet up there, I don't think. Okay, so this is the interesting one. We have now arrived in low Earth orbit. And we got the Victor 44 here. Don't know why these 3 ships aren't at the station. That doesn't really make sense. And they're not going to want to have anything to do with us, and we don't have the acceleration to chase these down, I'm fairly certain of. No, they got 50 millig's of acceleration, we got 2.4. There's not a chance that we'll be able to catch these. But that doesn't really matter. We'll pop up to their station here. And here we go. And now we're facing this station alone. And they've got the 3 ships in orbit there. They're not coming here to save their station. We've got 4,000 combat power, they've got 15,000. I guess they reckon they've got enough here. I do note that quite a lot of our combat power comes from our Ulus and our Garuds, because they are carrying nuclear shaped nuclear charges. And we won't be using those today, but we do have them here for when we need them. We are going to battle this one out, of course. Okay, so obviously we don't want to go in on a line here. We want to be using the Great Wall here. We'll go in fast. And we want to use the sword setting here. And we want to have the swords to the center. And we'll press... no, we can't turn those off. This means we should have bulbils in the center. And this is important because the bulbils are the ones that have the armor, and the center is what's going to be hit first because it's closest to the battle station. And the bulbils here have 80 frontal armor, whereas the cruisers here, they've got 40, and the Moors, which are going to do the main killing here, have 58. We don't want to have the Moors in the center because that just means their lasers have a higher chance of penetrating. Okay, so the enemy battle station here has started firing. I wonder if we can zoom in on one of these and we can watch the combat unfolding from around here. I think that's going to be a little bit nicer to look at. What's happening over there? I have no idea why these are brightening up that much. I see all the coil gun slugs are moving in here now. I kind of want to check out what's happening over there. Oh, they've got their radiators exposed, of course. And they have a different kind of radiator from our other ships. That looks quite cool. These must be the 3 new ones we built. And they got the dusty plasma radiators. Whilst the... that's an Ulu. This one here has tin droplet. And that's why these also are a lot more vulnerable. You can see just how big they are. We can see when all of these are going to start to impact. But to get a nice angle on it. And managed to shoot down quite a few of these at the start. But as soon as these, and for every one of these battle stations we take out, of course it's going to be a lot easier. Now these can't retarget, that's a little bit unfortunate. But it doesn't really matter because they will start retargeting and they'll have a few of these that are different amounts of close. And I can see the only thing that's still firing is plasma. We are suffering battle damage on quite a few of our ships. This one's not looking too good. But as long as, yeah, this one's doing very poorly at the moment. It's lost quite a lot of fuel there, or drive capacity. Reactor capacity, probably. And just need to wait for these last few rounds to land here on the station. And now we're kind of getting them all in view. Yeah, now we're just waiting for this last one out here, I think. And thus far we haven't lost a single ship. They are damaging quite a few of them though. And there goes the last one. Alright, so we suffered a few damaged ships here. Most likely, or most importantly, the Diligent here has lost. It looks like it's lost quite a lot of Delta V. It's down to 40 Delta V. Let's see what the other ones are at. 100. Now we'll go in and we'll look at the damage the Diligent took there. I think we can go in this way. And we can see that the laser's been knocked out. Most of its systems have been knocked out. We could of course have used the heat sinks and dragged in our, should have done that. Withdrawn our radiators, but it's fine. Only had a point defense ion battery left. Now we probably need to repair this one in some form of or another. We'll see what happens when the combat goes over here. It's still movable though. It just has a very slow. The battery's shot up. Yeah, it's got the reactor and the drives are down to 5%. And it looks like most of the bridge is destroyed. We might have to build a small shipyard to repair this one out here. And that's fine. We have to wait for these to actually get back into service, of course. And there we have them, operational. And the next thing we're going to do is actually blow this station up, of course. We go in here and we just destroy the hab. Not that hard. We get a little bit of extra, or we do get a little bit of exotics from that, and a few of other resources as well. And we want to close down here, because the next thing we want to do is we want to assault this base they've got down here. That's going to take us 6 days to land the marines and probably tanks and everything else they've got with them, and actually make that invasion. Okay, so we have managed to assault this base, and we have captured a live avian alien. Having recovered and performed initial assessment of a living griffin creature, we have no doubt that this is a sapient species. An obvious intelligence glints in its otherworldly eyes, but also what looks for all the world like fear. Despite its grotesque appearances, it seems strangely cowed, even deferential in the presence of humans, flinching when we draw near, and showing no objection to any requests we might make of it. Those few that it understands at least. This behavior would seem to suggest that the creature is accustomed to following orders. Whatever place the griffin occupy in the alien hierarchy, it is surely not one of leadership. And that's a very nice catch for us. Oh, we also managed to capture a live theropod alien. Beauty is not skin deep, it is said, and neither, it would seem, is monstrosity. The captive salamander demonstrates neither obvious fear nor compliance, instead bristling with barely withheld aggression at all times. Yet, it is clearly no animal. It watches carefully, choosing its moments, and its actions carefully, never recklessly. The salamander is a chilling being to find oneself in the presence of. The coiled might of the thing, the eyes that emanate only cold hatred, but most of all, the sense that it is patiently waiting for the perfect moment to strike. If it is, as we suspect, a mere foot soldier in a war we do not yet wholly comprehend, it is nevertheless one more than capable of its own decision-making. And we recovered an alien war dog as well. The body of the creature we have, in the absence of better words to reflect this beast's frightful appearance, named a war dog, has been sent for further study. A pre-autopsy assessment has confirmed it to be non-sapient. The brain is small, encased with an unusually thick skull, and, as with the canines for which it was named, its appendages would simply not be capable of operating tools or weapons. The war dog corpse does display some visible commonalities with what we have observed of the primary aliens, suggesting that they may originate from the same world, but this particular creature bears all the hallmarks of a subservient race. It is quite clearly a natural-born killer, and perhaps even an apex predator, but trained to obey and to attack. And we don't get to capture bases, of course, so we just managed to destroy it and got another 2.6 exotics from this. That's also quite nice. We've managed to salvage about 1 phaser's worth of exotics, and that could come in handy in the future. Now, as for what we do with this rock, we'll have to decide that in the next episode, I think. We do have this site here. It's a decent nobles mine, and well, metals as well. It's not too bad. And we also have this, we have Victor 44 still hanging around here. So I'm thinking maybe we could set up an automated mine out here, or that would mean we need to keep our fleet around here for a little bit. We're going to build a station here to repair and refuel. That wouldn't be too bad. We could also just fly home and see if one of the AIs grabs this one instead. We'll have to see what Victor 44 does here anyway, so. But that's going to be all for today. So thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you next time.